Hey, this is Matt once again. What about the end of the video? This is a paid request, this time for Vonte. Thank you so much for that. And for those interested in requesting any type of videos, topics, reactions, commentaries, reviews, re-reviews, what have you, feel free to send it. Either directly to my PayPal or join my Patreon. Both links are down below in the info box under there, if you want. But this is for the film The Wizard. No, not The Wiz, just for a split second I'm like, The Wiz? Oh, The Wizard. Oh, the video game one. Not the Wizard of Oz weird one. But The Wizard is a film that I didn't grow with like a lot of people did. So I don't have a nostalgia factor to it. It's a film that I didn't mind. Yeah, I've seen it once or twice before. I don't mind the film for what it is, which is a commercial for Nintendo and Super Mario Bros. 3. I mean, that was his purpose. I mean, if you read up, that's literally why the film got made. That's why. Is Super Mario Bros. 3, there's a certain delay or something. Here's a time it was going to get released. Let's have a movie attached to it. It'll be revealed. Even though technically it got revealed in magazines. But this was supposed to be the very first time anybody had ever seen this footage. At the very end of this tournament. It was also thought of as the Karate Kid with video games. I'm like, okay. Now it starts Fred Savage, who was on the TV show The Wonder Years. Later on, he would be in some of the Austin Powers movies, among other stuff. He was in that Deadpool. Remember they did that PG-13 version of Deadpool 2, Once Upon a Deadpool. I don't know what's going on with Fred Savage, because apparently there's a new Wonder Years show, and he was directing some episodes, and then he got fired, and people said he's a big piece of shit. I don't know. I don't know. Might be deceptive. Deceptive stuff. I don't know. Fred Savage maybe, may not be. I don't know. I wasn't there. What I do know is that I remember when I first saw this, I called BS in the movie, because the end of the film, the kid finds that warp whistle in Super Mario Bros. 3. I'm like, this fucking bullshit. There's no way you don't know about that warp whistle. I don't know fuck how autistic you are. You're not gonna know where the fuck that warp whistle is. It's bullshit. He cheated. Someone fed him the fucking answers. Okay? Alex Trebek don't know the answers. Neither does this kid. He don't know the answers. He fed the answers. Full of shit. This kid cheated, and that's the underlying theme of this movie. He cheated. Someone fed him the cheat codes to beat Super Mario Bros. 3, or get as far as he did. Not just one. He knew 2 fucking warp whistles, where the fuck they were. How the hell do you know where they are? Unless you're using Osmosis Jones and shit. Or just somehow knows in his fucking brain that I can do this. Bullshit, my dick. I know that was half English and half gibberish, but that's what I was thinking when I first saw this movie. I went, that's bullshit. And a lot of the video game stuff, they get wrong. Like sound effects and stuff that happen, that shouldn't happen. Like someone's playing the Nintendo, like Ninja Turtles game, and there's the sound of you getting hit, but the screen, no one's getting hit. I'm like, that's BS, and you can't get 50,000 in Double Dragon in 2 minutes, and that's BS too. And Ninja Gaiden, he hasn't taken a hit, but you looked at the health bar, and there is a hit. So the girl lied. I'm like, for a movie based heavily on video games, they did a lot of stuff wrong. The Power Glove, it's so bad. Well, you ain't wrong on that. I mean, you maybe to use it to do a Moon River up your pie hole, because you have a better chance to do that than actually controlling a damn game with the Power Glove. And what was the reason of setting up the Power Glove when it didn't get used at the end? It's like, I got a Power Glove. Yeah, so you can't use that because it'd be, I guess, cheating. So you got this big badass glove, good. I had a glove too. It's with a fist in it. I'm going to punch you in the face. Is that so bad? Your nose broken. Yeah, now I steal your Power Glove and I sell it. You forgot the Power Glove. Call me Freddy fucking Krueger, man. But anyway, when you look at the film, this pretty decent. Like, Fred Savage is a good kid actor. He was also in Vice Versa with Judge Reinhold and Little Monsters, and trying to be a hit in movies, but these films didn't really break too much of the bank. Beau Bridges, who's in a few other stuff, he plays the dad. Christian Slater, in a very nothing role. Like, Christian Slater would go on to be in Robin Hood, Prince of Thieves, and this underrated film called Cuffs, and Broken Arrow, which I love. I mean, his role really wasn't much of anything. Even with Beau Bridges, the story of the film is about a family that's been split. Beau Bridges is with Christian Slater and Fred Savage, while the... how do I put it? Beau Bridges' older original wife, who was the mom of Fred and Beau, died. So there was a point where Beau got to deal with this other lady. And with this other lady, she had 2 kids, which were twins, little boy and little girl. Well, amidst all this, the little girl drowned. The little boy couldn't save her. So after that, he was a bit, maybe not catatonic, but different. He didn't talk. He would start building things. He barely spoke. And Fred Savage and Christian Slater are the half-brothers of this little boy. So it's the little boy's mom who's with this douchebag boyfriend. The boyfriend doesn't know what to do, or husband, whatever, doesn't know what to do, ready to send him to an institution. Fred Savage hears about that, doesn't like that, says, why don't you do something about it? You don't let him? Just let him? So Fred, which is a little boy, keeps saying, California. Gets the kid, they go off, try to get to California. They meet up with this girl who's got a bit of attitude, who lives on her own, and the 3 of them go on this journey. Ultimately, they find out about this video game tournament at Universal Studios, and the rest of the movie is their journey to get to this video game tournament, do the video game tournament. This kid happens to be a savant at video games, where he got 50,000 in Double Dragon in 2 minutes, which you can't. There's no way you can. Meanwhile, Beau Bridges and Christian Slater get in the truck. They go on their way. And that whole bit is, like, pointless. I mean, it's pretty much... they don't have a lot of deep dialogue. There's not a lot of deep drama. There's potential. But pretty much, they stop somewhere. Christian brought a Nintendo system. He's playing, like, Ninja Turtles or Super Mario Bros. 2, Zelda 2... and then Beau starts playing and he starts enjoying it. But the way they play, it's like those commercials where they have the controller, but they're always doing like this. I've played Nintendo and a lot of other video games. I have never had a controller where I'm doing this. Maybe you get scared, but not like... never doing that. It's only in movies or video game commercials. But the little kid's name is Jimmy. And I agree with some people. It kind of plays off a little bit like Rain Man. Like Fred Savage is Tom Cruise and Jimmy is Rain Man. Wapner. When's Wapner around? California. Gotta go see Wapner. I will say the acting, I don't think it's that bad. Again, I think they got a pretty decent cast. Even I forget the actress who plays the girl with attitude. Like, she does fine. She stands up for herself. Fred tries to kiss her. She pushes him away. And then she kisses him. And then, like, lets him go. Better watch out. You go that road, you don't be an Amber Turd. I mean, there's fun stuff. I mean, there's New Kids on the Block on the soundtrack. You got the right stuff, baby. Oh, oh, oh. Oh, oh, oh. Which, I gotta be honest, I started listening to that song because I haven't heard that song in 20 years or so. I actually like the song, believe it or not. And there's another New Kids on the Block song. There's Send Me an Angel right now. So there's some good songs on the soundtrack. The video game stuff, that is nostalgia to me because I played Nintendo. These are games that I did play. Ninja Turtles, I did play Mario 2. I did play Zelda 2. Wasn't good at it, but I did play a bit of that. I knew of Double Dragon and Ninja Gaiden. So there's some superficial entertainment seeing that stuff being incorporated. But it is a movie where some of the emotional attempts may seem a bit valid. I know this is a movie that was a lot longer and they shot like a 2.5 hour movie, but a lot of that got cut out. I guess some of those deleted scenes are on the Blu-ray, which I don't have the Blu-ray. Because apparently there's a decent amount of features on it, including the making of. But it's the three on the road trying to get the video game tournament. This tracker bounty hunter type nerdy guy was hired by the Jimmy's mom to find them and bring the Jimmy back. And then Beau and I almost said Jeff Bridges. Beau Bridges and Christian tailing into some little hijinks where the truck gets towed or something to that nature, and Beau playing video games. Like I said, there's a lot of, even when you're into video games, there's a lot of little annoying stuff. Like I said, like Christian Slater's playing NES Ninja Turtles, and I recognize the sound when you get hit because I got hit a lot in that game. But you watch and he's playing normal. Also, the wrong music is playing on the wrong level. Also, there's a point where he unplugs the controller from Beau Bridges, but when you unplug the controller, the whole system doesn't shut off. Now, if you unplug it from the wall, that's fine, but he unplugged the controller. I think it was he unplugged the controller. When you unplug the controller, it doesn't shut off the system. Or even during the video game tournament, like they're playing Ninja Gaiden, and when they get done playing, they leave, but the camera's on the screen and the character's still moving. And that's because they weren't really playing the game. They're just mimicking it as someone's doing it on screen. That's why they left. The character's still moving on the screen. And I'm like, try to edit that down, or more of a quick edit, or have it different. You're playing and, just say stop, game over, like, shut it off, something, man. Pause. A pause button. Like, pause. I mean, I know they're Nintendo games, but they're playing on the arcade machines. I forget, it was Playtester, I almost said Testbacher, like Superman, but I forget what it's called. But there are certain Nintendo games they do put into a arcade stand. I forget what it's called. Like I said, you can't get 50,000 Double Dragon into it. So, I mean, you just say those are little nitpicks, but I'm just saying for a movie that's very adamant promoting Nintendo, you think they would at least get those little tidbits right? Just like I say, the drama, a lot of the emotional stuff gets left off the table, and that's why the emotional doesn't play as well as it should have. And like I said, this is a film that as I'm watching it, I kind of have fun with the novelty of it. It's a novelty piece, it's a curiosity piece of a time where you can have a movie that's a Nintendo commercial. So liking the cast, liking Christian Slater and Fred Savage, I think, like I said, he's a good child actor. Because there's a lot of bad ones, but I thought he was a good child. Again, the girl, I wish I could remember her name. It was cool to see Frank McRae, who plays a truck driver. May he rest in peace. He was Stallone's buddy in Lock Up. He was the police chief in Last Action Hero, barking orders. Also in 48 Hours, he was the police chief, barking orders. Nice to see him in there. I like Frank McRae. The Score by J. Peter Robinson. There's some nice guitar work with some of the little emotional scenes, especially at the end. when you found out why the kid keeps having California, when you found out why he has the lunch pail and what he does at the end. I thought the music of that was rather sweet and subtle, and again, some nice guitar work there. I did like that bit, that piece of business. Like I said, I'm not nostalgic with the movie, but I'm nostalgic with stuff in the movie, like the video game Nintendo stuff, the Power Glove, knowing about it. Even, the King Kong ride, since that got jettisoned a long time ago. It's kind of cool to see that again, because that becomes part where this guy's chasing the kids around Universal Studios. I mean, it's a lot of advertising for it. I can hear New Kids on the Block on the soundtrack, among other songs. But like I said, the emotional palette, there's not a whole lot of it for a good chunk of the movie. And then by the end, they're trying to bring it back, and a lot of it's left off the table. Like, you get this little notion that Christian Slater was there during that time where the kid drowned. That is, this did spoilers. Sorry, spoilers. Spoilers. That you get the idea that when the Jimmy and his sister, the twins, were at this river or something, Christian Slater's supposed to be watching them, but he was too busy doing something else, and the girl drowned, and Slater wasn't there. And maybe that's why throughout the film, Beau Bridges and Slater always get into these back and forth arguments, which is one of the reasons why Fred Savage leaves to go get Jimmy and take him, also is that he doesn't get institutionalized. There is no really end to that. I mean, I guess technically there is, but no. What happens at the end, spoilers, the kid wins the tournament because he fucking cheated at Mario Bros. 3. I'm sorry, you can be as good as video games as you want. There's no way you don't know secret warp whistles. Just number one, there's never a warp... Well, no, there's never a warp whistle in the other games. The first game was certain secret pipes. In the second game, it was... Maybe you can find like a hidden door or something. Especially in the other, like, shadow world, however you want to call that world. And the third one, like, how would you even know there was a warp whistle to begin with? For a game that was just revealed 5 minutes ago. And how would you even know something's there when there's all these other attributes, all these other things? How would you know to squat down and this one block would make you not hide, but go behind the scenery and keep going? And also, like, the point system. It's like, do this, do that. How do they get the point system? It's all bullshit. It's like, is it how far you get? Or get the star. The star doesn't give you points. Doesn't matter if you get the star. If you get the star and you get 3 stars, you get more lives. You don't get more points. You get more lives. Unless the whole thing is about how many lives you get. So it's like, people didn't know what the hell the game was or how it... It's like, you get to look at the game, and if you watch it, in case you want a little bit of a cheat code, you fly up here, you'll get a warp whistle. You can maybe even get 2 warp whistles. I'm like, whatever. Bullshit. That kid fucking cheated. I also thought that was funny that the host of the video game Armageddon, he reminded me of David Johansen. He wasn't David Johansen, but the way how over the top he is in hosting, I thought for any second I was going to go, first you define me, and then you'll mock my head. I'm like, they sure got David Johansen to play him, but it seemed like I would rather... Mr. Nanny came out years after this, but it felt like someone went forward in time, saw his performance, went back, and decided to play that role for this host of this video Armageddon. Which is not much of a tournament. It's pretty much they play Ninja Gaiden, and then they play the new game Mario 3. If they did anything else, I don't remember. It seemed like that's all they did. I'm like, wow, kind of a lame video Armageddon. Try to learn all these games, and then one of the 2 games you play is a brand new one. Wow, what a waste of time. Try to study these other games. But of course he wins They're driving back. Jimmy freaks out. They go to this dinosaur figure. They go in, and that's where the family, the last time all the family was united, including the dead sister, was at this location. And Jimmy wanted to leave the pail with bits of stuff his sister owned, sort of a way of him saying goodbye. And then Jimmy hugs Beau Bridges, and then the mom goes, "You take our kids home." And that's all it does for the emotion. Like, that's all it is. And if it works for people, cool. But for me, I'm like, well, Christian Slater, does he blame himself? Because I read up somewhere that there's bits where he was an alcoholic, and maybe he was an alcoholic because of what happened, and all that's cut out. And there's no moments of him forgiving himself. There's no moments of Beau Bridges forgiving him. Or what about Jimmy? Jimmy doesn't really interact with Christian Slater at all. Slater, he's kind of just there for the ride. I would assume if you asked him about this film, he's like, I don't know. I mean, I'm in a truck with Beau, and then I play a couple. I'm supposed to mimic playing some video games, and that's it. I mean, this is around the time when the year after he was in a TV spot for the 1990 Ninja Turtles movie. It was like, it was great. Like, one probably, sometimes in TV spots back in the day, they hire actors to go, it's the best movie ever. Christian Slater was one of those actors. I'm like, dude, you've done movies. You did like a movie with Sean Connery at one point. What are you doing here, man? Gleam in the Tube, For Life. Love Gleam in the Tube. Put that on Blu-ray in the US. Come on now. So the ending just felt a bit empty for me. Like, the whole emotional palette, the possibilities of potential, just felt empty as a movie. And that's what kind of hurt the movie, is that a chunk of the movie wasn't really that interesting. You're just waiting for... I'll speak for myself. I'm just waiting for the next video game reference or nostalgic reference. Like, again, New Kids on the Block, or Team Calling the Ride, or The Power Glove. It's so bad. And again, what was the point of... Well, the point was, hey, look, there's a Power Glove, go buy it. That was the point of it. But at the same time, in the movie, it's like he builds this up as if, oh, he's going to use this, and, well, it's in the rules, folks. You can breed whatever you want. And he brought this. Oh, my God. No, that never comes into play. Never comes into play at the end. So... I always thought it was also weird, this random scene where the kids at one point are trying these games, and they're at a pool, and the bounty hunter is looking for them. And he's talking with this woman, and right next to him is some old guy with skivvies as thin as Ally McBeal, anorexic, like the bit thin fucking thon. I'm like, old dude, your balls are ready to pop up, and your underwear looks like it's up your ass like a floss. Get some decency, man. This movie for kids. Your balls are showy. You know, what the hell are you doing? This is no tit for tat, I guess, for the 80s. So again, the little inconsistencies of the video games, the emotional palette not being at all flourished because that wasn't what his intention, and not having grown up with the film itself, so I don't have nostalgia for the film. It's an interesting oddity. It's not a film I own. It's not a film... Well, I think I do have a DVD. I think it was a DVD with another movie. I think it was a 2-pack I had with that and Cloak and Dagger. But I couldn't find the DVD, so I saw it online. I guess if I look a bit longer, maybe I could find the DVD, but I couldn't find it as of this time. Interesting, but I can see why the critics were not kind on it. I don't find it an underrated gem. It's one of those where... It wasn't bad. It's fine enough to watch as a time waster, but nowadays it's like those video games, you just play them for yourself, and then all the other stuff. So like Fred Savage and the girl, they did fine. Like Jimmy was there. He didn't have too many pieces of dialogue. It was kind of weird, kind of like a kid version of Rain Man. Ready for the do 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 do. Again, the video game stuff is a bit annoying. Just like, that's bullshit. And no way he got that. No way that he could not figure it out. He's a cheater. Jimmy's a cheater. He's a cheating bitch. A cheater. Cheaters don't do drugs. Anyway, that's the Wizard. We'll see you guys later. Bye-bye.